Just moments ago, Bitcoin broke above the all-time high, testing prices above 112,000, which means that Bitcoin is now ready to play out the next major parabolic advance, the next phase of the parabolic trend. And we can see that the altcoins, the others chart, is potentially breaking above its range highs. We may be breaking above our downtrend line, putting us in the next major altcoin run. All of this and more in today's video. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be discussing Bitcoin, the current price action reaching new all-time highs, and we're also going to discuss some of the altcoins and what's happening there. So definitely leave a like and subscribe to this channel if you're new. Moments ago, we briefly tested just above the all-time high. So we tested 112,150 roughly. Bitcoin has since then seen a slight dip back below that level, but we are still up almost 2% on the day. When it comes to analyzing Bitcoin, one of the most important factors that we've learned, especially if you're a viewer of this channel, is the S&P 500 and the direction of the S&P. And one of the reasons why we were calling for an all-time high break over the past few videos was the S&P was breaking its all-time high. And almost every time Bitcoin breaks its all-time high, the S&P does it first, almost every time. There's only a few times in history where that's not the case. And what we see right now is that the S&P is sustaining these all-time highs, actually pushing up even higher today, stable above the all-time high. And if the S&P is stable or trending into new all-time highs, then that will allow Bitcoin to also do the same. It gives speculators confidence to speculate into a new all-time high for Bitcoin. And so because the S&P is showing us this right now, I think that Bitcoin will continue. I know a lot of people in the chat are going to say, oh, we rejected the all-time high, blah, 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 blah. This is just very short-term price action. If the S&P is continuing up, it's extremely likely that Bitcoin will continue up through confirming a new all-time high. Now, if you take out your fibs from high to low and you just mark up the most recent swing high to most recent swing low, the first breakout target is sitting at the 1272 at 115,750 roughly. And that is a less common Fibonacci level. The common Fibonacci level is at 120,500. That's the first major target at the 1618. Now, I would be looking at both of these. I think obviously the closer the target is, the more likely. I think the initial breakout target could easily be at 115,750. That's what I'd be looking for in the initial breakout. If and when we do clear this high, 115,750 is what I'd be looking for before a potential pullback to retest the all-time high and then continuation. And that is my initial breakout target. If you take a look at the current weekly chart for Bitcoin with the parabolic trend diagram overlaid onto it, you'll see that we are setting up for the next major parabolic advance. The next major push towards 140 to 150,000 is what the textbook suggests. And this could probably take months, many, many months of movement to get there. It probably won't be exactly like this. It won't be a straight line up. It'll probably be more choppy in the end. And it'll probably take us until maybe even October to actually get to that price level. And that's my current outlook for Bitcoin until proven otherwise, right? That can change if we start to do really, really well, really, really fast. Then obviously that can change. My outlook can change. But for now, I'm still sticking to the original idea. And this is the same idea, the same analysis that we've had on this channel for like 2 years. And it's just continuing. So I'm going to stick with it until it's proven wrong. Now, one of the more interesting charts right now is the Ethereum chart. We've had a breakout above our downward sloping resistance. We're starting to push above our previous resistance levels. And this is sort of the break-even point for the Ethereum trend. If you look past history, this was a major pivot point, a major swing point. Around that 2,750 zone is a major area for the price to actually pivot above and start to close above. And that's what we're challenging right now. If Ethereum can pivot above this level, then it opens it up for moves up towards 4,000 once again. And this is just going off of the historic chart without, opinions or whatever. If you look to the left, every time we get above this middle red box of resistance, the price tends to swing tremendously up towards 4,000. And I think that could be the next step if we're able to clear this level, is a swing towards 4,000 for Ethereum. And right now, Ethereum is outpacing Bitcoin in the short term, and even since April lows, Ethereum is outpacing Bitcoin. Ethereum is up currently 100% off the April lows, and Bitcoin from the April lows is up about 50%. So Ethereum is moving with double the speed in percentage terms from the lows in April. And this is bringing down Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance starting to curl over, starting to break into lower lows. Repeated lower lows are being reached right now. And we're coming up on a major trend line. And so if Bitcoin dominance breaks below this trend line and Ethereum begins to outpace Bitcoin, that would actually give us reason to believe that alt season may be just around the corner. Because Ethereum has about a 10% weight on Bitcoin dominance, and XRP also has a 5% weight on Bitcoin dominance. And you can see XRP has started to break out a little bit in the short term, and Ethereum, of course, outpacing Bitcoin in the short term. Bitcoin dominance at this point has the highest likelihood of breaking down than any other point in the cycle, simply because Bitcoin's price is so high and altcoins are so low that if there's a slight variation there, dominance is going to plummet. And of course, I don't want to diminish what Bitcoin's doing here. I mean, this is amazing. It's epic. It's one of the best cycles really for Bitcoin ever, not just for the price, but for regulation, everything. It's now well adopted, institutional adoption, global reserve asset. It's the first true global currency. I mean, it's incredible. Bitcoin is fulfilling its role, really best case scenario for Bitcoin in general. And I think it's going to go absolutely parabolic moving forward. But I do think dominance is likely going to see a shift back to the downside in the very near future. And that's not bad for Bitcoin. It simply means that there's a lot of interest in crypto in general. Bitcoin dominance coming down has never been bad for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's price usually is going up when dominance is going down, or it's at least sustaining higher levels. So it's not a bad thing. And so I think that everything's going to get bullish pretty soon with this dominance drop, most likely impending if we break this uptrend line. The others chart, this is the chart for low cap altcoins, others. This is everything outside of the top 10 cryptos. You can see that we're sitting in a pattern that is very, very reminiscent of the 2024 setup before this huge run. And the thing that happened, it wasn't just this chart pattern, this sort of wave pattern that we have here that is an exact copy of itself. It's also that when this run happened, Bitcoin and the S&P were both at a new all-time high, both charging into new all-time highs, and that allowed for excessive levels of confidence for speculators to speculate on altcoins. And what we've seen is obviously the S&P at new all-time highs and Bitcoin touching, testing, about to break the current all-time high, which gives us a major reason to believe with this setup of Bitcoin and the S&P both breaking all-time highs. Well, if that happens, we're going to probably see altcoins surge in the coming months. And for the others chart, at the very least, I'm looking for something like 580 billion roughly along this upward sloping trend line. That's at least the first initial major target. This is just an accumulation zone. And then there's an expansion phase coming, in my opinion, going into October. So that's how I see altcoins right now. They're sort of just really at a low level, likely to get a major pump in the coming months. Bitcoin likely to break out into new all-time highs and begin its parabolic advance towards 140, 150,000. You know, we're seeing a lot of epic things right now, like Nvidia was the first company ever to reach 4 trillion US dollars, and that was today. All the tech stocks are up heavily today. You know, S&P trending into new all-time highs. The whole environment, the whole setup right now is ripe for an everything season and a drop in dominance. Bitcoin dominance, right? And again, that's not bad for Bitcoin. It just means that people are interested in crypto and everything's going up. So that's how I see the market right now. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely smash the like, subscribe to this channel, and be sure to sign up with BloFin. Now with the altcoins starting to move, you want to be on an exchange that lists new coins faster than other exchanges. BloFin is faster at listing new coins than Binance or Bybit or any of the other competitors. They're about 5 minutes faster at listing new coins than competitors. And if you use that link below to sign up for BloFin, you get 10% cash back on all your trading fees. 1 in 10 trades is a free trade, and you get those fees directly back in your account every single time you trade. If you're not saving money on fees, you're just losing free money, right? You should be saving something on fees, and you can be doing that by using the code WELCOME or the code SVEN. That link below will do that for you. Sign up today, and I'll see you all in the next video.